Hi guys. So, sorry, I know I haven't done a video in a while. I'm not going to keep you guys very long. I just want to give you guys an update. I know I've done some videos talking about like my mental health struggles, my physical struggles, um, my disability case, on where I was at, what I was doing, who was doing what, who wasn't doing what. Um, I feel that there is a lot of people struggling. I mean, I think a lot of people feel that way, that there's a lot of people struggling right now in today's economy, society, the world in general. So that's why I decided to make these diary videos. So if you'd like to continue watching me grow and explore what is actually out there, talk about my challenges and my ups and downs. I am going to actually probably start doing some more recordings because I am going to start taking another step in my life. I've already put, what, 3, 4 years on hold um, for a disability case. I dug myself into a hole. Um, But I want you guys to, think about, um, disability for a minute. Um, if you're going through that, stay on top of it. Make sure your lawyer is staying on top of it. Provide all the documentations when appropriate. Um, don't just take the word for your lawyer. Also do your research yourself. I feel that if I would have done the research that I did after the fact, I probably would have had maybe a better turnout. I would have been able to know exactly what to do more than just kind of sit back and allow my lawyer just to do whatever he was doing. I did fire him. Um, I actually fired him shortly after he went ahead and submitted for an appeal. When we went to court last May, okay, briefly summary, he told me once we got the court decision of a denial that we could do it 3 different ways. We could just drop it and let it be. Um, we can appeal it or we can reapply. He said that we have a certain time frame to make that decision, and he felt that by appealing it would be better, or at least it would, give us something. My hair is just all over the place. Um, I probably would have went the route of reapplying. Um, but when I talked to the assistant, which I talked to her more than I did talk to my lawyer, which I didn't hire the assistant, okay? I didn't hire her to handle my case, do all the crossing of the T's and dotting of the I's. I hired him, okay? And when I call the office and request to speak to my lawyer, I don't expect to talk to his assistant more than I did ever him. So that that irked me. I mean, I understand that he has to have an assistant, file paperwork, answer the phones, take messages, all that kind of stuff. But I shouldn't have to go through her where she goes and talks to him. And if it's okay for his standards, then he says to call back and get me booked on his calendar. Like, what is that? And then by the time she called me back and booked me on his calendar so that I actually can have only a phone call with him. I was never invited to the office. It was never said, "Hey, you need to come down. Let's talk about this. Maybe we're not understanding you." Um, Nothing. Like, I don't. feel in anything, in any aspects right now with economy and society and the way people are creating things and transitioning things, there's no personal contact, there's no personal interaction, and that's why everything is getting mixed up, okay? So when I found some irregularities of what she was telling me and what she had told me in the past, I was like, "Okay, let me call you right back." So I called the Social Security office. I found some information out. I found out that there's an actual form. If you're going through this and you're considering even applying for disability, okay, download the form SSA 795. Okay. It is a compatible questionnaire. It's 8 pages. You take it to a doctor, you have them fill it out. It's basic common knowledge. How much can she lift? How long can she stand for? Can she bend? Can she sit for long periods of times? How well is she with electronic devices? Okay, because that's like the one thing everything's going to. Like everything is at our fingertips with electronic devices, um, which feel is fine. Don't get me wrong, but it's only capable or working for the people that understand electronics. Like us, I'm 42. I just turned 42, guys. Okay. That didn't really have a whole lot of interactions with electronics or cell phones or laptops. I have had my laptop now for 4 years, 4 to 5, and I'm still learning on how to actually navigate it. You know how long it takes me to actually pull up the recording and go live on YouTube? 30 minutes. It takes me 30 minutes to literally find where I can go live and upload videos and record all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine me? But anyway, I will figure it out. I've always figured things out. Now it's on to the next thing. I told you guys that after appealing it, um, I probably won't be pursuing disability at all anymore. Um, TikTok has introduced me to a really good supplement. I've been on it for almost 2 weeks now, and I'm seeing a difference. My energy levels increased. My sleep has improved. I don't even I get irritated trying to sleep with my machine, so I'm actually going to take my machine back um today and be like, I don't want this. Um it actually irritates me more than helps me sleep. Like I can't get into my comfortable positions. And I have some awkward sleeping positions. But the minute that Saturday that I got my denial letter, I opened up Indeed. I started applying for jobs. I started looking for jobs. I started reading the descriptions. Always read a description. Always read a description before you like, yes, okay. Because you'd be surprised of what you're probably agreeing to. Um, I am settling into my new room. I'm on the main floor. So I can actually craft and see my dog in the living room, like when my daughter's not home. Um, I've already taken 3 trips to the Goodwill, to get rid of stuff that I no longer are in the need of or plan on doing anything with. The rule of thumb is that if you've had it for over 6 months and it's just been sitting there, it's probably not gonna ever be used and it's time to send it off to a new home. Okay. In 29 minutes, I will be interviewing for a job. It's a call center, so it's a sit down position, no heavy lifting. It might be a little bit stressful. I did take the time to get a lot of the stuff, you know, done in the last 2 to 3 years. I also went and got a second opinion for my neuroma in my foot, because the original doctor wanted to recut me back open. I'm like, well, that's not going to help me. You know, that's just going to probably either put me behind more or cause me more problems. And the second guy that I went to said that it's not the nerve that is bulging out, it's the way it healed. And I have scar tissue, and that he himself will not recommend another foot surgery, because if that's how my body heals, it's probably going to heal again the same way. Okay. Which makes sense because when she went in originally, she removed a lot of buildup tissue around my ankle because of how many times I've either rolled it, sprained it. I've never broke it. I've never broke either one of them, but somehow, some way, I end up with massive amounts of tissue because your body can do that. Your body can form it. The one doctor that I went to recently, because the nerve doctors sent me to go get some labs done. Okay. So, because of those labs coming back elevated, twice the a limit that it's supposed to be, he sent me to hematology, which also studies cancer, like a blood doctor, basically. That's what hematology is. If you don't know any medical terms, hematology is the study of blood, or a specialist within blood. Um, so I went and seen him, and he was a lovely guy. He said that if it would make me feel better to have the labs redone in 6 months, do not pay attention to the primary number, but pay attention to the ratio percentage. And he said that if that number for that particular test ever went over a 2.5, then he definitely wants me to come back to run tests. But that means it's an extensive line of blood work, bone marrow that needs to be ran as well. That means another spinal tap. Um, which is interesting because the spinal tap that they did last year on me to rule out fluid, like in the spinal column, or fluid on the brain, I still am very sensitive in that area of where they did the spinal tap. Every once in a while, I'll have like I could feel it, that it'll come through. But anyway, I'm trying not to make this too long, but I do want to update you on, guys, on everything, okay? Because I feel that there is somebody out there that is having a hard time experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing. And if my story can help one of you guys, why not? Let me tell my story, and maybe you'll find some clarity in what I'm telling you. But anyway, the hematology basically gave me a map. Okay. So this is your like water line. Okay. And this peak is your iceberg. Okay. So the iceberg is the human body, basically. Okay. He basically flat out told me, okay, and if you guys want to know who this doctor is, I'd be more than happy to tell you. Um, the amount of what we actually know of a human body is right here, this top part of the iceberg. What doctors think they know about a human body is everything underneath the surface. Okay? It's right there underneath the water. So, back to my original statement, do your research. Okay? I went to the library. The library has, yes, I probably am not saying it right. Thanks to my daughter. She informs me that I do not say that word right. Um, they have tons of books on disability cases, and I read one that if you take it to an appeals level, you only have a 2 to 3% approval rating. And every time you fight a denial, it decreases, not increases, but decreases your chances of an approval. Okay. What I believe, and this is just my opinion, okay, what I believe what they want us to do is to either eventually give up, become homeless, um, reapply so that way all your back pay that they technically would have to pay you out would go away because you would lose all that. Or end up just finding a job, working yourself to the point where you are working yourself to an early grave. Okay. Now, because of the supplement that I found, and I'm like 2 weeks in, you can take it either once or twice a day. It's the NAC supplement. You can find videos about it all over TikTok and do your research on it. I did my research on it for what, over 2 weeks. I continuously watched videos. I read articles about it. It's on Amazon. Okay. And within the third day of taking only one tablet a day, I started seeing and feeling a difference. My mood has changed. I haven't had an anxiety or panic attack in the last 2 weeks. My breathing is better. My energy has literally doubled. I can actually wake up in the morning, I have my coffee, I eat something, I take my supplements, um, and I can go all day now, all day. It is amazing, and you can actually I only got the 600 milligrams. I wish I brought up the bottle in here with me, but, um, I think there's like a 1,200 milligram one as well. So, um, I feel amazing lately. Hopefully this interview goes well. I do have other potential jobs or job leads that I will probably be following up with today. Um, I'm also going to be starting door dashing, Instacarting, as well. I already have a plan that the very first paycheck, my full paycheck, that is, um, once I actually land a job, is to get a dumpster. My house needs a desperate gutting, okay? Um, my basement alone, oh good lord. um, I'm gonna be doing that. And then as I do that, I am gonna actually buy more shelves, more totes, Everything's going to be labeled and organized. And so that way, all that's going to be ready because we're also going to be starting to put aside. I personally probably will be doing 30% of my check aside so that way next spring we can actually start looking for a different house. I know I'm not going to find a house like this. I let alone the cost of this house. I only pay $830 for my house. Um, but if I'm going to sit here and work my ass off until God knows when now, because even with doctor's notes, they still find me not disabled. So I figured I'm 42. People are retiring between 60 and 65. 20 years. For the next 20 years, I have to suck it up and hopefully it doesn't cause me more problems. Um, but I am actually going to start getting stuff that I want in life. And everything behind me, yes, that is my hobby. That is not my primary job. It is not my dedication. This is what makes me happy. Okay. So, door, lock, happiness. This is my happy room. Okay. Yeah. If you guys want me to make you something, let me know what you want. Um, if I have it, I'll make it for you. Okay. I am reasonable. I'm not going to sit here and charge you $50 for a cup or $30 for shirts, which is on my to-do list is to get a heat press and sublimation printer and the ink and the paper and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's further down the road. My passion is to save things and upcycle them. You want a set of magnets? I do make resin dominoes. Um, I make wreaths because there's so many things that you can make and recycle to make a wreath. It is not even funny. Like you don't have to go out and get um that $10 mesh or Dollar Tree carries it for $1.25. But I mean, even at the Dollar Trees, you're buying 3 or 4 rolls of that mesh to make one wreath. So you're already in $10 at least, because every 4 items is $5 at Dollar Tree. Which I also call 5 quarter store. It's the 5 quarter store. I think that's probably what they should name it next. But Dollar Tree is one of my potential job leads, by the way. So um as you can see, I'm probably starting to get a little nervous. I have 15 minutes and I have a virtual interview for this job that the call center job that previously hired me, but due to that spinal tap last year, I wasn't able to start. And that was my whole plan, you know. And then I got the letter stating that my lawyer had already sent off for an appeal. Like, why didn't you call me? I mean, it's not that hard to pick a phone up, hold it up to your ear, and be like, hey, Katie, we're approaching our deadline. What did you want us to do? Or how did you want to approach it? Because, like I told my lawyer when he finally called me to speak to me, and I told him that you're fired, I said, you guys work for me. I don't work for you. You guys have to think about that, okay? You hire an attorney so that way they can do the legal job of what you're trying to do. Not to the point where they're sitting around for several months at a time. Okay. And I feel that some lawyers will try to drag it out because the longer it takes to get you an approval, the more money they get. Like the lawyer that I found, without even naming names because I don't want any legal action, God for me being honest. Um, his cap out was 6 grand. 6 grand. It was 6 grand cap out or like 25% of the back pay that he was legally obligated to because he took on my case. I said, no. I said, I'm not going to pay you and for you to do anything. Then the appeals council in Virginia, okay, I called out there because you can actually Google that number. You can actually figure it out. And the only reason why I figured out how and what state my case was, because there's 2 locations, is because the local office told me. I don't know if they were supposed to tell me of which location my case was at, but they did. Um, and electronically sending documents, by the way, should not take a week, by the way, okay? Should not. That's an instant transfer, guys. Instant. So that's another thing that you should stay on top of. If you're ever trying to submit documentation to anywhere, okay? Like you fax it or you scan it and then you send it into like an email. Emails are instantaneously, okay? So they go to a person, that person, whoever is supposed to be the document scanner, that's where the problem is, okay? I don't know about you, but when I've had jobs, knowing the fact that there was still left unattended work to be done drove me nuts. Okay. I made sure that everything that needed to be done for that day was done for that day before I left. Because back in my work days, there was consequences. There was writtens, there was verbals, there was terminations, there was um one company had what they called D days, which was a decision-making day, and then they expect you to come back with a written statement on if you wanted to stay with the company or if how you were gonna make changes to where the situation wasn't gonna happen again. Companies need that again, okay? Companies need to start taking the appropriate steps. So oh, look, I might need to hide that before my interview. But anyway, I hope you guys all have a good day. Subscribe, follow along with me. I will be back tomorrow with an update on where I'm sitting at and where I want to head to. Okay. So I did download these questions. Um, you can find them on the internet. You just type in questions that could or can be asked during an interview. The one thing that I want to mention real quick is don't allow the company that you're interviewing for control the whole interview. Ask them questions just as much as they ask you. Okay. So I prepared myself a little bit yesterday. I printed them off. There was 25 of them. uh, Motivation and time management, troubleshooting and problem solving, communication, teamwork, negotiation, and professional development and values. Those are the 5 topics basically that I went over. My ear just started itching. But anyway, I hope you guys all have a great day. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them down at the below. Have a good day. Bye, guys.